Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Crazy Tech Reviews. Now, as you may know, for the past year or so, I've been doing a series of the channel where I go to various thrift stores in my area and I try to find any interesting retro tech gadgets or anything that may pique my interest. Usually I don't find too much stuff, and most of the stuff that I do find isn't necessarily rare or unheard of, and for the most part that's usually how it goes when it comes to thrifting and just thrift stores in general. You don't usually go to a thrift store and expect there to be too much stuff, but just recently on my latest thrifting trip, one local thrift store caught me completely off guard, and that's what we're here to talk about today. But first, before we get into the good stuff, I want to go back to the footage of the rest of the trip that the ignorant version of me shot beforehand, completely unaware of what was about to unfold. The first store we went to was a Goodwill. Now, I just happened to notice that I actually didn't film anything while I was here, and the main reason for that was that there wasn't really anything to film here. The current footage you're seeing right now is from the same store a couple of years ago for my first thrifting trip, and they actually completely rearranged the store, moving the electronics section and everything to a different area and so on. Overall, the store is a total bust, and I didn't end up getting anything here. Moving on to the next store, this one was a local thrift store, and I find that these local stores happen to have better selections of items than the larger thrift stores. And moving back to the electronics section, this is definitely true. I see lots of flat panel LCD monitors, mainly of the 4:3 aspect ratio. However, these aren't really something I need at the moment, and I already have several. But then I saw this. It's one of those crappy little televisions that were made around the late 90s and early 2000s. I already had a white model of this television, and so I figured I'd pick up the black model and unbox it on the channel or something. That video is actually already up, by the way, so go watch it if you haven't already. I also found this very useful PS2 to USB adapter complete in the original packaging, so I picked that up as well. Overall, that was pretty much all I picked up at this second store aside from a floppy disk holder, which I forgot to film. So now that I've shown you all the other thrift store trips I did that day and what I bought there, it's finally time for me to show you what craziness I saw at that final thrift store. Now, unfortunately, it turns out I wasn't originally planning to make a video on this, so my footage is a bit spotty in some areas, but hopefully you'll get the idea. The first thing I saw that grabbed my attention here were these. At first, these just appeared to be generic hard drive enclosures, but then I looked at the backside and saw SCSI ports. This definitely meant these drives were compatible with the Macintosh, but I still wasn't quite sure if these were designed for the Mac in specific or not. But then I looked over to the left slightly and saw this. What this is a PowerBook 100 of some variety, and I wasn't exactly sure what model yet, but I'd have to check later, as right below that was a bucket filled with vintage Apple mice. Most of them were either the original ADB cheese wedge design or the later Apple design mouse, but one was something a lot more interesting, a Super Mac mouse. Now, basically, to put it simply, this mouse was designed to be used with one of the Macintosh clone systems of the late 90s called the Super Mac, and for as cheap as it was, there was no way I was turning it down. I also decided to pick up one of the cheese wedge mice, as well as they were also very cheap and I didn't have one yet. There was also a ton of manuals and documentation here as well, of which I practically got all of it. And as a matter of fact, here you could see how intelligent my purchasing decisions were in light of all this cool stuff.
That's it.
Getting that? I'm getting that? Look at all this shit.
It's only $5.
Someone must have dropped this all off. So yeah, here is pretty much everything I purchased today. Now, I would like to go through it all individually, but unfortunately that's just going to take too much time, so I'm just going to show you generally what I got. As you can see, there's lots of documentation, 3 separate hard drive enclosures. There also is a complete PowerBook system, and as you can see, we also got tons of cables, as well as that microphone, and of course the 2 mice. So overall, I'd say this is a very good haul, especially considering that all of this was purchased at just one thrift store. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up for today's video, and that also pretty much wraps it up for 2021, and man, was this a good way to end off the year. But before I end this video, I also wanted to briefly talk about, since this is going to be my last sort of video, I guess it's not going to be 2021 anymore because today is the 1st of 2022, but big deal. I want to sort of take this as a point, or as a moment to sort of look back at the year and sort of talk about how the channel's grown and just sort of stuff like that. And for one, when we started off this year, last year, 2021, the channel only had about 127 subscribers. And currently, at this current point in time, we have about darn close to 500. As a matter of fact, that's about 450 right now. So that is a crazy growth as far as subscribers goes for just 1 year. So I can't thank you guys enough for subscribing, for watching my videos, and so on. I'd also like to go ahead and just quickly thank the community itself for all the opportunities they've given me with this channel. For one, I can say that I have appeared on several podcasts regarding vintage computers and stuff, including MacYak and several others. I've also been featured in some collaboration projects this year, one of which with Steve from Mac84. And overall, the year has just been very interesting, and a lot of neat stuff has happened. We hosted the first Marcintosh event this year, which was a screaming success. Also, I was able to make several improvements to my filming space. I was able to purchase new equipment, and just generally try to improve the quality of my content and my videos. And of course, all of that is only possible because of you guys supporting my channel. I know it's the same thing that every YouTuber says, but it's very true. So if you are new here and you like this content and, you want to help support the channel, then be sure to check out some of my other videos, and also be sure to subscribe, as it shows me that what I'm doing is good and that people like it. But with that said, I can definitely say that there is a lot more to look forward to with the channel in 2022. A lot more interesting content will be coming out this year. And with that out of the way, I'd like to go ahead and thank you guys for making 2020 just a little bit better for me. And with that said, I'll see you guys all next year.